me. Come on strong, go on and love me. Let's not waste that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you want.
Welcome everybody to another Marketing Momentum with Charles and Deborah. you like that after we've already started with the start. Charles, I want you to introduce it because you just had just the most brilliant idea for our series.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about video and obviously, Deborah, you work with it, quite a bit. So I do more of it. And I just that from a marketing perspective, we could start taking a look at some of the channels we like, talk about what they're doing to promote their business, and I think that there are a lot of really good channels out there, and I think we could stand to learn from what they're doing. So
I agree. Oh, I saw your lower third pop up. That's good. Now I know who you are, Charles. No. Sorry,
yeah,
off topic.
Right.
No, I fully agree. Even during our Twitter chat, the SocialCafe Twitter chat, we're studying video and video marketing. So, I mean, this is just really, really exciting, and to be able to do this over a series and be able to even for ourselves and kind of a growth in knowledge and determine what we like and what we don't like. Because it's so much easier when we look at what other people are doing to be able to determine what we like ourselves.
It was interesting. I just, we were talking about help outs today, which is going to be part of the whole house technology. And, I was talking to my daughter today. It's very interesting just how the whole thing has changed. And she, had been wanting to have students, that she felt like that was part of the next point of her development. And I was sharing with you that, hey, you know what, look, sister, you need to get a job or you need to do something. And what we came up with is that, maybe she could start tutoring people doing YouTube videos and then to build a channel. So all this is going to be learning for me. I'm going to transfer that to her and then do my own. So, you're kind of on the lead on this, but I think we can learn something from this stuff.
Excellent. And when you get to that point, be sure and ask as far as my very first education, I don't want to say how many years ago, was sound engineering in Los Angeles. So as far as the special miking techniques for pianos and so forth. So, and of course there's Michael. So definitely, well, where to find me, Charles.
Right. Right on.
So we have a list of favorite channels, or at least channels to talk about on marketing, for you to be able to give your commentary.
Let's do it.
Innovative,
insightful,
revolutionary,
very, very powerful,
intense.
It blows your mind and widens your horizons.
Stanford Ignite is a certificate in innovation and entrepreneurship. It's a program that provides two main things to students.
So anxious to hear your thoughts on the Stanford.
Yeah. Now, I've kind of been, I'm subscribed obviously to Stanford's channel, and what I like about Stanford, specifically when it comes to marketing, is when they talk to the folks, the kids at Stanford. I call them kids. They're talking, nuts and bolts, and so everything that I like about Stanford, right? I guess they're saying, well, we're not going to get away with this inspirational stuff, so they kind of try to get into something that they feel is meaty. That's what I found, and everything that I found is nuts and bolts, and it just tends to be broader. And that's what I like about the Stanford channel.
And as we were watching it, I kept saying, okay, don't analyze the video production. Don't analyze, but I can see where we're looking at videos together, Charles. You're going to be like really hot on the content side, and I'm going to keep looking at the presentation, which is maybe good because it's two different perspectives on the same video. But I will say, watching that, I was very impressed, and I would expect a lot from Stanford, but I'm not always that easily impressed. I liked how they had a good camera, and you could see that as far as the focus when they were talking outside. The focus was on the individual, and so they knew how to use their camera. So many times people have plain old or iPhone. Nothing against iPhones, but it's like nothing is blurred in the background, so you're looking at this dog over here doing this and picking up a stick, whatever. They really did some good camera work, and they used natural lighting to their advantage. And the sound, and I also liked the way that they moved. I mean, this is something that I'm even enhancing more in the videos. I mean, we're always learning, but the way they move from place to place, as far as you saw everyone raise their hands and the guy. I mean, you felt like you were right there, and it felt like it was alive.
Yeah.
And that's to the testament of not just the person who filmed it. I'm not, it might not be the highest quality, but the production was really good.
Yep. And you don't feel the length. And it's not a long video, right? But you're not going to feel the length of it. I mean, what is it, 3 minutes? I think that the way that they really structured it, and you could say that the subject is maybe not even all that exciting, right? But I think that the work that they're doing, like you're saying, is moving this thing along, and you can get into it, right?
And that's something, as far as the length, I like for our shows, we really aim for that 30 minutes because we don't want people. Even though we're such exciting people, I know everyone wants to listen to us for 2 hours. You try to aim for that attention span. And I was just editing a video, and I don't even know if I should say what it was, but it was about bed bug sniffing dogs. And it's commercial, whatever. But the way I modified it from the original that they had was they had the dog sniffing. And the dog was probably the most interesting thing to watch. I mean, the cute little dog, right? And then they would have this data, like, how many eggs or something are laid or whatever. And then back to dog, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm yawning on the data. I can't even stay through this 2-minute video because. So what I did is I put them side by side. So let's catch the people that want the data, and let's catch people that want the dog. Let's put it all on one screen so that we can keep them engaged.
Yeah, because 2 minutes of pure statistics and data, you're going to feel the length of 2 minutes, and you'll be kind of like, when is this going to end?
Yep. And I think, didn't we learn this in like Marketing 101? You want to leave people wanting.
Yeah, and man, video is such a great way to do that. But you're right. I think in this day and age where I think we're kind of evolving now in terms of all doing video, where it used to be, and you probably heard it, right? That it's better to just slap something up there than to just not do anything. And, it's interesting, maybe that's changing because maybe sometimes it's not better to just slap something up there and do something.
Exactly. And that, so for some of us that want the high quality, it's not going up there because we're aiming for too much quality. And maybe Instagram and Vine are teaching us that you can slap something up there.
No, you're right. No, right, yeah.
Zoom in just a tiny bit on me right now. That was weird, but whatever. Hey, it's Marie Forleo, and you are watching Marie TV, the place to be to create a business and life you love.
Okay, I don't even know where to start because I like so many things about what Marie does, and obviously her team. I'm not trying to take any credit away from the woman because she's definitely talented. She's gorgeous, but she's got a team. There's someone doing the makeup. There's someone doing the lighting. There's someone doing that setting. That's incredible.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously, I don't think that you can even talk about video without talking about Marie Forleo. I've always really been amazed at how she figured this out before there was a pattern. I don't think she went to any video trainings or how to do video. I think she has, first of all, given, and I think the content is good, right? But a lot of this really has to do with, her whole vibe, which is, I think she's bringing herself to this, right? It's clearly her style. I guess, what did she do before? She used to be one of these dancers in one of those videos, like an exercise video. So, I mean, she's already kind of learned how to do the whole stage presence thing. But I think she's just bringing herself to this. And I know what you're going to talk about. It's really, the production value is at such an incredibly high level. I mean, I'll let you talk about that.
And you know that Mike and I have watched her. And sorry, Marie, I really love your content. Don't get me wrong. But when Mike and I sit down and watch you, we are like watching how you handle yourself, production, lighting. We're watching, again, all the production end of it. And Mike has even commented, as far as the size of the room, to be able to get the proper lighting, you have to have a decent sized room. I mean, I'll be honest, the room that she's using is bigger than what we're using here, even though we have a video studio here. And it's, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not quite the size of what she's dealing with. And when you have a larger room like that, then you have more room to have the lighting, because when it comes to video production, as far as you want to be able to control the lighting, you want to be able to, it's just like sound. You actually, when you're recording sound, you want to remove all the natural effects, if you will, so you have the driest, dullest sound that you could possibly imagine. That's why you have the foam on the walls, to deaden that. And then you add the natural effects back in. So that way you're actually controlling the environment and able to create. Otherwise you can get, some strange results that are not natural. If that made any sense whatsoever. It's with lighting and sound, both of those. You want to actually bring it down to a base level, and then you want to add things to that.
It does. And I mean, there are a lot of extra, there are a lot of extra things, right, in this video that, from a marketing perspective, I mean, even just the end cap, at the very end of her videos, we obviously didn't get to the end, but I think, there's an element that, we're going to put previews of our other videos. Everybody's doing that now, but she's communicated. I don't like the word brand, but I think she's definitely communicated her whole style into this. Like, it's her thing. And so when you're watching, you're not just watching, a video about, let's say doing a business plan. You're sort of, if you're into Marie, then you're going to watch this, and you even if you're only halfway interested in the information, I think, it doesn't matter, because the sales don't care, right? They don't care whether or not somebody came to them because of you, or they came to it because of the content. They just get made. And I think, man, it's just we would be hard pressed to talk about video channels without talking about hers.
Well, and I think that's so key when you're talking about brand. And I came to love Marie late, as far as it's like, oh, wow, who's it? Whoa, how did I not know about her? Kind of thing. Like, I don't know if I'm so self-absorbed in my own brand that I didn't bother, checking out the competition, if you will, because actually what she's doing is probably pretty close to, or probably the closest as far as like my cappuccino talks and so forth. And I had all these concepts of what I want to do, and then I go look at what Marie's doing, and it's like, dang, girl, you did it before I don't want people to think I'm going and copying. I'm not like the, Marie number 2. I totally applaud what she's doing. I admire it. But she actually was on the forefront, the pioneer, to actually go out and do what some of us are thinking about doing and facilitating it. So it's really neat to see that somebody has actually done that, and she's got it right. She's branding herself.
Yeah, there's no question, right? Yeah, like I said, the content's good, but I guess if even if her content, let's say, was an 8, it's clear, and her content might be a 10. I'm saying that compared to her production value is probably at 1.2 times her content.
I would agree. And, I will say that there's something that that Marie validated, and I would say Miss in her last name, but it's easier to say Marie. So I hope it's being personable on that one. But that's all right. People can call me Deborah, so she can call me Deborah. But as far as the one thing that she validated was, when I was editing videos, I have this urge to like have a text fly in and have I add all these things. And do you remember like reruns of Batman from, what is that, the 60s? You go, bam, and all these things would pop up.
Right,
And I kept thinking, I'm not doing that.
right,
I'm not going to have BAMs popping up all over. But then I'm like, so you think old school, like I have to have this video that's just boring and lower third and that's it. Watching Marie's videos said it's okay to find a balance. You don't have to have the 60s BAM, across her face, because we still want to see Marie. But she made it okay to have transitions and to have helpful things coming in and reminders, because we are very visual people. So I'm really thankful to her for being a pioneer in that area to say, yeah, Deb, what you're thinking, that's okay. Hey, I don't think we're going to make it through all 10. You want to go back to the very first one?
No, yeah, we're not going to make it. We're going to make it to 2.
That's all right. We got a lot of quality going on in this one. A lot for the show notes and the blog posts.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer and welcome to Video Creators TV. This is a laid-back, relaxed channel where those of us who are video creators, like you and me and anyone else who makes video content for YouTube, Blip, Vimeo.
I love this channel. Everybody who does this has a little technical in them, right? But I think, man, they're really getting into, I think, the nuts and bolts. And if you're looking to make marketing videos at all, I mean, the things that they're talking about are really practical, and they're primarily talking about YouTube. So, okay, so I'm trying to think about what I can say. I like, number one, it's clear that these guys are not just. It isn't what they learned in the past. It's like, well, this is what we're learning, and they're sort of sharing it with you as they go. And I think that we talk about what you want to communicate and being expert in it. They're sort of, well, we're learning as we go, and we're sharing this with you, right? So, and it's cool to do that, and they're doing it they're doing it in their own style. I'm guessing, Deborah, this is probably not, production-wise at the level of, Marie Forleo, but it's sort of working, do you think?
I was just drawn to how personable they are. I mean, there's enough mean people in the world. I hope that I'm not one of them. And definitely watching that, there was such a warmth that I don't care what the production is. I just want to hear more. It's like, wow, what can I glean from this? And they're just so fun. I keep saying bear, but he just exudes that warmth and that comfort level. And I think that's so important in the presentation of your video. And
yeah, I mean, you can. I think what you can tell, and that's a good point. He's having a good time doing this.
Exactly. And how can you go wrong? I mean, even if it's not the production level, there's still probably going to be tidbits, and he's probably going to touch on some things that people have real life questions. So he's going to reach that and address their question.
Sort of doing some things, Deborah, in the post-production, and I know I've seen some videos in the past. He's got that big white screen in the back, and sometimes he'll actually put a title up on that white screen, right? He'll do almost like his, and obviously that's post-production. How difficult is that kind of stuff, and what would you? So I have Sony Vegas, right, and I also have Adobe Encore, which I don't use because to me it's just really it's a little bit more complicated than Vegas, and maybe not as intuitive. How do you do stuff like that? How would you approach something like that?
Okay, and some of this comes from, because I consider myself the other half of a team as far as it happens to be my husband. But he says that lighting, if you're going to just go with a white background, that doesn't usually work out as well as far as lighting. And he's a better one to explain all the technical details on that one. He said if you want a lighter background, you're going to want to go for a light gray or cream or so forth. But the way we do white backgrounds is the green screen. And I'm not familiar with the software that you mentioned. I use Final Cut Pro. I also, for really quick jobs, I sometimes use Camtasia by TechSmith. And both of them, I mean, I imagine that most programs as far as editing would have a green screen or a color removal, or, sometimes it's called different things as far as the keying. That's another term to look for, where you can pull that green out and then you can put a white background. So I've done that to give kind of a whiteboard effect. And then, of course, the titles or the text is something that you're putting over the whole video. So like I have one where I've got a gigantuan sticky note behind me. It's not really there on the wall, but I've used the green screen to pull out my background. And then I put a sticky note graphic, and then I put the text over it. That's the purest as far as the white.
Yeah, right. You've been doing you do this thing with DaVinci, and I know we've talked about backgrounds, but he wants to have a white background with their logo, right? And they want it to be in the background. How do you approach a project like that?
But I know you mentioned DaVinci, and she's got the blog workshop, so she has kind of a poster type thing behind her. On that one, if I had to talk about DaVinci's background, I would bring her forward a little bit more, so there's a little more space between her and the background, and there's lighting, and there's some things to enhance so that background even pops a little bit more. But as far as the project with having a logo and a white, I would still do the green screen. Now, there's a couple different ways. You could do complete green screen and then layer yourself as far as, because once you remove the background in a program like Final Cut Pro or in Sony Vegas, you're a layer, you're a person. You can put that white background then behind you, just like you would in a Photoshop or an image layering system. And you can also put that logo in between the white background and yourself, or you can put it to your side. Now, that's one way to do it. I would do it that way because I have more granular control. Because the last thing I want to do is have it behind me and say, oh, no, it's crooked or something, and that's a lot trickier to fix. So that's how I would do it. But you could do a green screen and then have a poster like what DaVinci has with a logo in front of the green screen. And then when you're keying it, you pull the green out so that it's white.
You're into video creation. After you've, subscribed to SocialWebCafe TV, get marketing momentum, you should subscribe to Video Creators, and because again, you're getting, I think, somebody who's in it, right? And they're not waiting until they've learned everything, and they're not coming at you kind of like, we know all about video and you know nothing.
That's
kind of like,
popular.
okay, we learned this today, and then we're going to show you this. We just learned this today. They're into it. They're having fun. If you're watching, hit the subscribe button.
Oh, brilliant. I forget to say that. That's good. Thanks, Charles. This has been a blast. And everyone, tune in next week as we review more marketing YouTubes and channels. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Don't you want to kiss and hug me? Come on, strong, go on and love me. Let's not waste that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you want to be more than friends. Got some love I'd like to make. Baby, you can squeeze me, I won't break. We could be in a paradise, you and me. Until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh yeah, until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh baby, just say when.